Sam was on Roblox yesterday, and a thing popped up, and he started laughing. I was like, Mommy, look, and it was a picture of my cry face, and it was a game that someone made of Roblox, and it's like Kim's new sex tape. When you clicked on it, thank God he can't read yet, and it's like, over my dead body, is this shit gonna happen to me?
When you live your life in the public eye, there are consequences and repercussions. Everything you do, everything you say, every move you make will be recorded, because somebody's going to be watching you. Now, under normal circumstances, it's easy to sympathize with someone who is constantly having their personal life invaded. But when your claim to fame is a purposely released and capitalized on intimate session between a guy we know and you who we didn't know, that's always going to come back up into your life. Because what you do online never disappears, even when you think it has. Now, we're not going to sympathize with this situation, but we're also not going to drag the woman about it. Because regardless of what you do when you're younger, let's not sit here and act like we haven't all done some things when we were younger that we wish we could take back, that we wish we could cover, that we wish we could hide, that we wish weren't known to the public. But see, when you at the same time are taking the father of your children through all kinds of things, sometimes the energy you put into the world comes back to you. Let's take a look at this video, man, and we'll come back and chop it up on the real tip.
Wow. Who made that? Who made that? Let me see. Click on it. Oh, hold on. Post this like soon. We gotta move fast and start calling people.
Let me call.
Okay, let me call you back. Let me just call Kanye really quick.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's not okay though. It's not. You know, on Roblox. You know, Sam was on Roblox yesterday, and a thing popped up, and he started laughing. I was like, Mommy, look, and it was a picture of my cry face, and it was a game that someone made of Roblox, and it's like Kim's new sex tape. When you clicked on it, thank God he can't read yet, and it's like, over my dead body, is this shit gonna happen to me again?
And in this case, it came back to you with your son almost being exposed to your past in the most egregious ways. Monitor your life when you're young so you can learn how to monitor your children. Now, you know, the funniest thing in the world is that after all of this time, after being out in public, doing all of these things and motivating people to side with her and treat Kanye as if he's losing his mind, it's mighty funny that when things hit the fan, she wants to call Kanye. The same Kanye who's been trying to win her back. The same Kanye who's been trying to pull the family back together. He wasn't good enough for a talk. He wasn't good enough for a visit. He wasn't good enough to hang out. He wasn't good enough for you to keep things under wraps, but he's good enough to bail you out of your situation. See, this is what I tell you, man. Your woman will use you in whatever way she can, for as long as she can, even when she doesn't bring any benefit to your life anymore. See, in a perfect world, when someone knows they don't benefit your life, they're not going to let you benefit theirs. They're not just going to keep taking, knowing that they don't give you anything. But in this case, a woman does do that. Why? Because once you decide that you're going to give a woman everything, that may be the first time in her life she's ever had a man who's going to give her everything. There are women who have been married and didn't get everything from a man. So if you give a woman everything, you're probably the first man to ever give her everything. And what does that mean? That means that in her mind, you're always the one to call. In her mind, you're always the one to bail her out. Nobody's going to sympathize with you if you have built yourself into multiple hundreds of millions and you got your start with this very tape. You know how long ago that was? People don't even use the term tape anymore. But the reality of the scenario is when you live your life a certain way, be prepared to accept the consequences and repercussions of that life. This is why we say we don't want women online. I don't want a woman who has a presence online. Let me tell you something as simple as a woman getting a new hairstyle. She gets a new hairstyle. What does she want? She wants to show everybody. So she changes her avatar on Facebook. She changes her avatar on IG. She posts some pics on IG. Why? Because the validation is addictive. Social media has made the modern woman into an emotional zombie. She gets so much fake validation that she can't even appreciate the real things in her life. She can't appreciate a man who takes care of her, a man who provides for her, a man who protects her, a man who directs her. Because all she has to do for any information she wants, any guidance she wants, just go online. Anytime she's feeling down, she don't have to come to you as a cheer up. She can just go online. Think about it. This is a woman who every time she posts something on the internet, she posts a picture, it breaks the internet. Like when she actually takes a pic for the internet, it breaks the internet every time. But now, the foundation of that life is this very same intimate tape that we're speaking of, the one she's crying about in the video. Here's what you women really need to understand. Everything you do and you allow yourself to be put out there in a negative way, you lose a little bit of your feminine respect for yourself. See, this isn't about what I feel about you. This isn't about what any man feels about you. This is about what you feel about yourself. And now this woman is getting to that age where the things she did when she was younger are coming back to bite her. They're showing up. And think about this, man. Some of these video game sources, man, this stuff is for adults. I believe if adults have access to it, it's for adults. Period. So for this to be available to this young kid is part of the problem in this society. It just goes to show you that it's called the World Wide Web for a reason. What happens in the web? Whatever gets caught in it gets stuck in it. So I want y'all to keep in mind that you cannot have a do-over in life. There are no do-overs. I've met plenty of women who said something foul or did something, and then when you tell them, hey, we're done. Well, I want a do-over. Oh, I will never do it again. You shouldn't have done it in the first place. If you willingly record yourself being intimate and it leaks, you deserve that. You deserve it. But I will say this about Kim. At least she's embarrassed by it enough where she doesn't want her son to see it. Think about the situations out here where there are some situations where the mother wouldn't care if her son saw it or not. At least she's matured to that point. And I think deep down inside, she understands that has everything to do with being Kanye's wife. See, a woman doesn't reach her fullness of maturity until she becomes a man's wife. Not a do-boy, not a sucker, not a simp. When she becomes a man's wife, a leader, a provider, a protector. A woman doesn't know the fullness of her womanhood until she does that. A woman can be a mother and still not know about being a woman. But being a wife to a man, it helps you become the woman you're supposed to be. It helps you see the error in your ways. It makes you the closest to perfection you'll ever be. That's why when you're in a situation with a woman, you must govern the situation. You must control the situation. You must lead the situation. You must even dictate the situation. Because I am telling you, a woman without a man to guide her is lost. It's lost. See, here's part of the problem. You know how you just give a kid a phone or give a kid a laptop and let the phone or laptop be their parent for hours at a time. I can almost guarantee you these things weren't going on when Kanye was in the household. But here's the deal. Now this puts Kanye in a peculiar position because this is the same woman who's been giving him nothing but her bony yellow behind to kiss. Now she wants him to run to the rescue. And unfortunately for Kanye, due to the fact that this is his son, he's going to have to run to the rescue. This is why I tell you, men, be sure of the woman you have. Be sure of the woman you impregnate. Be sure of the woman you marry, because you are going to be obligated to at least provide that woman some semblance of protection and direction for as long as your children are in the household with her. So just because you end up not being with the woman does not mean that you are not going to give her some type of guidance. Even if she ends up being with another man and he's not on your level. The crazy part is, no matter how great of a stepdad he is, still your children. And so you have no choice but to allow your wisdom, understanding, and knowledge to show up and show out when it's needed. But be very careful in the beginning. Because here's the thing. When a man like Ray J, Brandy little brother, can make a song about your wife saying, I had her first, doesn't that kind of seem like you made the wrong decision? That means that you know a man who's been with her. No man should marry a woman who has been with another man that he knows. It's bad enough she's been with any man. But you're going to marry a woman who you see a man all the time? You got to cross paths with a man you know for a fact the world knows that she's been with this guy? You may not come across Reggie Bush that often, but I'm quite sure you bumped into Reggie a few times. That's what he gave you for a wedding gift. A song called I Hit It First. You men better start governing your actions and stop allowing yourself to be in a situation where you're stuck like Chuck with a woman who never really gave a fuck about anything but how you could benefit her life. And even now, she's been running around with Pete, changing her name, telling the judge, I want to be single. Well, why in the hell ain't she calling Pete? Oh, I remember now. Because Pete ain't got the money, ain't got the pull, and ain't got the wherewithal to put his foot down and dominate a household with a woman like Kim Kardashian. He's just a boy that's being used as a pawn. Because the bottom line is, when everything hits the fan, it's the same thing for a man. You know who you got to call when something serious happens. You can have all the women in the world, but if you go to jail right now, you know who you got to call. So I say this to you, men and women. If you know that's the person you got to call, the person you got to rely on, treat that person with some respect. It ain't even about any physical interaction between y'all anymore. What if y'all not interacting with one another physically? You can still respect that person. She's been running around in a disrespectful manner. Going on TV to, I'm finally happy now. Well, why don't you call your happy man to help you? Because he can't. So you're happy with a lesser man? And all that means is that she deserved the lesser man in the first place. If you're a man who put yourself in the best position in life, man, many women you meet are not going to be worthy of your presence, your time, your effort, your energy. Unfortunately, Kanye has got trapped with some babies and a piece of paper that says he can't just walk away. Y'all comment down below and let me know what you think about this topic, man. I look forward to hearing what you men have to say. I'm out.
Alphas up, betas down, it's the motto. Simps claiming that they pimps, but they not though. Alphas up, betas down, it's the motto. Suckers claiming to be players, but they not though. Alphas up, betas down, it's the motto. Tricks acting like they max, but they not though. Alphas up, betas down, it's the motto. Betas claiming to be alpha, but they not though. Now I'm not gonna tell you, man, that you shouldn't value your woman at all. A woman does have value, but you can't overvalue her